Good afternoon and welcome to an earlier and shorter ITV News Anglia due to the rugby. First, scientists at the University of East Anglia have found leaving uncultivated areas of farmland in North Norfolk can be a huge boost to nature and wildlife. They've been researching ways that farmers can both grow food and help rare species thrive, as Ravina Gatura reports.
The blooms, the bugs, the beautiful North Norfolk countryside, home to thousands of different species, with ambitions to save some of the rarest, rapidly declining.
We found that cultivated margins, which is where farmers take a margin at the side of their field and plough it early in the spring, but don't sow anything into it, and they cultivate it. And they do that repeatedly in the same place. We found that that can support as many important species as everything else you might be able to do in that field put together.
Researchers at the University of East Anglia and the North Norfolk Coastal Group have spent a year analysing data from local farmland, looking at ways landowners can both produce food efficiently and protect precious species.
There's nowhere else in the whole of the glade and catchment that has that many plant species.
One of those ways, restoring old habitats and creating new ones in places like ponds and wetlands.
So you can get this flourishing of wildlife, of plants coming back into the ponds. That helps invertebrates. The invertebrates feed the birds, feed the bats. The margins of the pond are covered in sort of wildflowers, which benefits pollinators. So by restoring old ponds and resurrecting ghost ponds, we've found a way of recovering wildlife in a really, really rapid way.
But for farmers like Jimmy, changing his practices doesn't come cheap.
You're already standing in some of the lowest intensive agricultural practice in the world. And if we are putting all of our farmland over to nature, then the reality is our food dependency will go to North America, to South America. It's really, really important that when we look at farm practices, we look at everything in context and improve the understanding for everybody.
Practical measures where possible is something Jimmy is willing to do. It's hoped the research will encourage other landowners to adopt more sustainable farming practices, allowing nature to shine in all its glory for years to come. Ravina Gatura, ITV News, Norfolk.
In other news, a man's died after the car he was in veered off the road and ended up in a river in Harlow. It happened in Burnt Mill Lane near the town's railway station late last night. Two men in their 20s were pulled from the water by the local fire service, but one of them later died. The other remains in a serious condition in hospital. Police don't believe any other vehicles were involved. A pedestrian's been seriously injured after a car mounted a pavement in Diss this morning. Traffic lights and a bollard were also damaged during the incident just after 9 o'clock on Victoria Road. Emergency services, including the air ambulance, attended. The pedestrian is being treated at the Norfolk and Norwich Hospital. Police say 15 people were hurt when a bus carrying school children in Essex had its roof ripped off after hitting a tree. The vehicle was travelling through Clavering near Saffron Walden yesterday when it hit a low-hanging branch. One passenger was seriously injured, another 14 suffered minor injuries. Children undergoing cancer treatment at Addenbrooke's Hospital are thought to be the first in the country to receive PE lessons. It's been added to the hospital's school curriculum and has proven to be hugely beneficial, helping to reduce infection risk and even improve treatment outcomes. Rebecca Howarth has this report.
Good job. You'd never know how sick Ella feels. She's got chronic kidney disease and is attached to feeding tubes as she can't keep anything down. Normally, she spent a lot of time in bed at Addenbrooke's Hospital, but after PE lessons were introduced, she rediscovered her love of football.
I come here because I like football. So I thought if we're doing football here, then I'm going to give it a go. And even though I'm on this to help, I can still do it.
Thought to be a hospital first, tailored PE lessons are being offered to children who are undergoing long-term treatment at Addenbrooke's. It's a collaboration between Pilgrim Pathway School, which provides education for young people with complex mental and physical health needs during their hospital stay, and local charity Kick. The benefits have been huge.
When we come here, she does do a bit of school and she does enjoy it. And then when she comes back to the bed, she's a bit down. So when they said about a PE lesson, I was like, are you going to do it? Because usually when I ask her to walk around the world, she doesn't want to. She did it. She came back smiling. She was a lot more upbeat.
We know that children undergoing some of the most gruelling treatments like craniospinal radiotherapy that can have really significant long-term impacts on their cognitive development. If they exercise during their treatment, we see really beneficial changes in their brain. They have improved reaction times, improved processing speed, better memory. They're less likely to have infections, which means they're more likely to complete their treatment plans. So moving during treatment is really important for these children, even more so than anyone else.
The PE lessons are bringing back some normality into these children's lives. Even just 10 minutes of exercise is helping Ella to achieve her goal of getting better. Rebecca Howarth, ITV News.
Time now for a quick glance at the weekend sport. To the EFL, and after back-to-back away wins, Ipswich Town are back on home soil in the Championship. It remains to be seen if manager Kieran McKenna will rotate the squad against Blackburn as he did in midweek at Southampton. It still produced a winning performance and a first senior goal for Amari Hutchinson. Norwich expect striker Ashley Barnes to be out of action until November after his knee injury sustained in midweek. The Canaries resume their campaign at Plymouth. And you can see the goals from that and the region's other league games on the EFL Highlights show on ITV4 tomorrow night. Norfolk's Freddie Stewart is rested for England's latest game at the Rugby World Cup against Chile. The Leicester fullback and winger played in the first two matches, scoring a try in the last one against Japan. Clubmate Ben Youngs is on the bench while Ipswich's Lewis Ludlam starts. It's live on ITV1 tomorrow from 3:55. Ipswich Witches will defend a strong lead in the second leg of their Premiership Speedway playoff semi-final next week. The Witches upset the form book in beating Bellevue by 18 points at Vauxhall Stadium last night. They'd lost all 4 meetings against the league leaders in the regular season. And finally, fans have had to show a little patience, but Take That are coming back to Norwich. After much speculation, the band have announced they'll be returning to Carrow Road on the 28th of May next year. It'll be the 3rd time they've played there, and this time they'll have company from Essex boy Ollie Murs. He's been confirmed as the special guest. All right, let's get your weekend weather details now. Here's Ash.
Greater Anglia sponsors ITV Anglia Weather.
Yes, hello there and a very good evening to everybody at home. Well, as we head into the weekend, for the most part, there's a good deal of dry weather around. However, on Saturday, we couldn't rule out an occasional shower, and on Sunday, it's going to stay dry through most of daylight hours, but certainly it is going to be quite breezy out there on Sunday, blustery. So this is the weather pattern for the next 48 hours or so. We've got a little ridge of high pressure across the UK, but it's out to the west where we see those weather systems that will eventually push through on Sunday evening, leading on to a fairly unsettled start to next week, but also a mild start as well as we drag in a southerly breeze. But there are some showers out there at the moment. For the most part, though, they're starting to fade, and many of us tonight, it is going to be a dry night. There is an exception, though, to the northeast. We have got a northwesterly breeze, so we may just see a few showers continuing to clip the Norfolk and North Suffolk coast. Temperatures, though, dropping back to around 8 degrees Celsius, so quite a fresh start to tomorrow morning. A little breezy, but dry for most of us. So bright and sunny spells first thing, and the chance of a few showers mainly through the morning. Overall, though, it looks like it's going to turn into a largely dry but cloudy day. An occasional shower couldn't be completely ruled out. Feeling a little fresher than today as well in that northwesterly breeze, temperatures getting up to around 16 degrees Celsius. Now the next high tide at Clacton is at 5:30 and then again at 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. But let's just take a look at the detail for Sunday. A blustery day to come, increasingly cloudy, but weather fronts holding on out to the west, a little milder as well, highs of 19 degrees Celsius. Then it stays unsettled as we head through Monday, highs of 21 degrees, and staying very showery as we head through Tuesday.
Greater Anglia sponsors ITV Anglia Weather.
We'll be back with bulletins throughout the weekend, but from the team here, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.